The Houston Astros sweep the Toronto Blue Jays, the first sweep of the season. We're going to talk about everything we need to look at from this win going forward and why it's important, the trend we're seeing, and the Astros moving in the right direction. Let's go right now.
Jainer Diaz, this is Locked On Astros.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. You can find me on X at Eric Dockstros. You can find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can I find you at?
They can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. They can find me at Stros411 on X and on Facebook, and at Back to the Bullpen on X, on Instagram, on YouTube, and iHeartRadio. Look, I'm always positive, always Stros.
Hey, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day, whether it's on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. There's a little red button down there. All you have to do is press that little red button, and you'll go ahead and subscribe to us. But today's episode is brought to you by GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Brett, to start the season, would you have thought that not only would Ryan Gusto be in the Astros rotation this early in the season, but he would be not only pitching as well as he is, but as efficient as he is? Like he went into the 7th inning today, and he just looked like he was, I believe it was 7th or 6th inning, but
it was 6 2/3 is what he finished. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So he went into the 7th inning, and he's barely, I believe he started inning with like 61 pitches or something. This guy is efficient, and he goes out there and throws strikes and everything. But Brett, would you have seen this happen?
No, it's just something that is a pleasant surprise. Now, Ryan Gusto, I think there was a really good projection of him being someone who would actually contribute to this club. Actually, 5 2/3 innings. I said 6
that's what I thought.
Yeah. I added an extra inning there. Sorry, Ryan. Actually, you're welcome. But 5 2/3 innings pitched, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. Look, this is not your 1, 2, or 3 guy. This is a guy that has come in because Spencer Arrogetti is out and he's filling a role. 80 pitches, 47 strikes, and through 22 2/3 innings, Eric, a 2.78 ERA. That's a really good ERA early on. And the question that we're going to be answering for the rest of the week or the weeks coming is, what is Ryan Gusto going to do when Arrogetti comes back and when Lance McCullers Jr. comes back? What role is he going to play? I think he solidified himself as one of the starters, but there might not be room for him down the road. It's great, though, that he's taken advantage of this opportunity.
Oh, they can still always go to a 6-man rotation. That's something that they possibly discussed. We had McCullers pitch, throw 33 pitches in a bullpen yesterday, and he's going to start for Corpus Christi over the weekend. So Gusto is showing that he can belong. He's faced the team like the Padres. He's faced teams that this is what his second or third start, I believe. But 6 strikeouts in this game overall. He just had the Blue Jays looked like they had no clue what they were doing. He had 12 lifts, 40 swings, 92.1 average exit velocity in this game. But not just Gusto. This whole series, Brett, it's been 19 1/3 innings by the starting pitchers, only 7 hits allowed, 2 earned runs, 4 walks, 18 strikeouts, a 0.93 ERA through this first the series. And then if you're talking about what the Astros did overall, it's even more impressive. They out-hit the Blue Jays 33-9. 33-9. I mean, this is what you got to do to win some baseball games.
Right. And that's, and I definitely want to talk about that in the second segment. It's interesting. He is 3-1. But he only has 3 starts. He got that win in a relief appearance earlier in the year, but he's literally gone out there and just done what they've asked him to do versus San Francisco. 2 innings, 1 strikeout. I actually 4 innings, 5 strikeouts. I'm sorry. Wow. I really shortchanged him there. Minnesota, 4 strikeouts. Angels, 6 strikeouts. San Diego, he only had 2, but he still got the win. And then today, 6 strikeouts. A solid campaign in 2025. And this is what is helping solidify this team. As the offense gets better, as the offense trends up, the pitching's continuing to do what they've done this year. The strength of this team is the pitching. I think this offense is better if you go back to 05. I think it's better than 05. You may have a team that more reflects the 2005 Astros than it does any other team, but with a better offense in the end when they reach their potential.
Yeah, Brett, looking back at the pitching in these 3 games, the Astros pitching overall allowed 2 runs. And
Wow.
not only what they did in those first 2 games is borderline historical. I mean, you only allowed 2 hits in the first 2 games. Yeah. The last time the Astros starting pitchers have done that was, you have to go all the way back to 3-game stint back in September 23rd, 25th of 1986. You're talking about Jim Deshaies, Nolan Ryan, and Mike Scott. They did that where they had back-to-back appearances of 2 hits or fewer. That's how it's what they did against the Blue Jays is very rare. And so we got to appreciate what the starting staff is doing. Not only are they are allowing the fewest amount of runs in the American League, but they're also just going out there. They're limiting the whip. They're not allowing a lot of runners on base, and they're just getting the job done. And the bullpen overall, you saw Josh Hader. He came in, got the job done again today. And I know that after the game yesterday, he said exactly what you said. He said that last year, I just felt like I had a lot of pressure to perform under that contract. But this year, I just feel like I'm myself. I'm going out there and just executing the way I'm supposed to. And I'm not making excuses for Josh Hader last year. He's the one that signed a deal, and he's being paid to do this. But at the same time, I'm glad that he's on this team now, because this is a closer that you need.
And, why is this important? Well, because the offense is 7-1 with when they score 4 runs or more. They're now 6-10, not 5-10 when they score 3 runs or fewer. So in these games where you scored 3 runs, you want those 3 runs, that cricket number, to be able to get you the victory, because you're not going to always have the runs just coming out of the woodworks and just pouring on the runs. But man, I'm excited to talk about Christian Walker here in a second when we do get to the offense. Because this guy just hits. He had the day off, and Eric, you pointed it out. After the day off, I think he was like 5 for 5, and then he had a streak of hits in a row, and then he finally got out. He's human again, but it's great to see, because Ryan Gusto goes out, delivers a solid performance. The relief pitching comes in. They don't surrender anything. And it's a complete game from the pitching staff from beginning to end. Hader did have the 1 walk, but he had 2 strikeouts. Brian Abreu, 1 strikeout. Brian King, he had 1 pitch when he first came in and got out of the inning. And he's the 1 pitch king, I want to call him. So everybody's doing their job on the mound, and you love to see it.
Yeah, and not only did they sweep this series, but they won 5 out of 6 games during this homestand. And this was a turnaround stint. The Astros are 13-11. They're now 2 games over 500 for the first time in the season. Last year, at this point, we are crying about how bad this team was. They were bad last year. Now this team, last year, they were 7-17 through 24 games. This year, the Astros are 13-11. This team may have some issues. Yes, they do. But the pitching is not one. And we hope that once the series starts in Kansas City on Friday, it's going to be a whole different ball game. I mean, the same ball game, but the offense is able to perform on the road. So
the same ball game, but a different ball game.
Yeah. But guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
That's right. This episode is brought to you by Amazon Fire TV. Let me tell you about Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Did you know that your TV can turn into a gaming system? No, I'm not talking about your PS5, your Xbox. I'm talking about your TV. Just get your controller that is synced up, that will, and you sync it up to your TV. No console is needed. You can subscribe or you can sign into your Xbox Game Pass Unlimited with EA Play, which is included, and you're ready to dive into hundreds of premium titles. EA Sports College Football 25, a great game. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. What is my ops? Black Ops. I can't play that game. I'm horrible at it. But with lightning fast, more responsive gameplay, it doesn't matter what level gamer you are, because Fire Stick 4K delivers the smoothest transition games out there. The 4K streaming with more than 1.5 million movies, TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney Plus, Max, and so much more. You play the high quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost, no lagging. It is great. It's smooth. And I can tell you that this 4K Fire Stick TV that I have is phenomenal. It is a game changer. So head to Amazon.com to Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription, compatible controller required, available on select devices, including Fire Stick TV, Fire TV Stick 4K second gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second, and Fire TV Cube third gen today.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So you don't have to be watching in high definition. The Astros offense is starting to look a little bit more clear. It's starting to look a little bit more like you wanted it to. Yes, you would expect a little bit more power from Alvarez. He did have a hit today. He did have the RBI fly out. But Christian Walker, I don't know if you saw it, Brett, but after the game, the Astros tweeted that he ate.
Yes.
And
yes. And if you're a teacher like us, you hear these terms, I ate and he ate. Yes, he is number 8. Yeah, I love the play on words. The social media team does a great job.
Yeah, but Christian Walker, for a time before he got out, was 5 for 5 in his 5 plate appearances going back to last game. So I'm not saying he's back, but he looks more comfortable at the plate. He looks like he understands what he's doing. He had his home run today, which is his 3rd of his season, and he's looking like he kind of is getting back to where he needs to be.
Yeah.
He said it wasn't about the off day. He said the off day was just typical off day. He just relaxed. But sometimes, like we talked about yesterday about the mental thing with Josh Hader, sometimes it's just the disconnect, stepping away and just letting things settle in. And it's not just him that needs that disconnect. I know that Diaz, he had 2 hits today, but sometimes maybe you need to give him an off day, total off day. Not even a DH situation. And then I know the situation, you don't want to take the big guy out, but at some point you're going to have to say, maybe it's time to give Alvarez a breather.
Exactly. Now, a couple key things that happened. Christian Walker's home run was his career home run number 150. I found out a friend of mine was at the game. Big Dave was at the game, and the home run was hit right in front of him in the Crawford box. He was holding up the baseball. He goes, "This is Christian Walker's home run ball." And I was like, "You caught it?" And he goes, "No, the guy in front of me did." Altuve and Alvarez had back-to-back 2-strike hits. That's a huge thing. You mentioned here in the notes that Yordan Alvarez just barely missed a grand slam. I mean, Zach Desenzo did score on that play. Zach Desenzo looked good at the plate. If we're talking about, is the offense fixed? Is it showing signs? Yes, it's showing signs. And let me tell you why. Because the first place Texas Rangers are 14-9. Okay. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're losing 4-0 right now, but they have a negative 11 run differential. The Astros, 13-11, have a plus 11 run differential. even with that, Eric, I think the Astros need to do more damage with the guys on base. You got all those hits. I would have liked to see more runs tonight. They had a lot of opportunities that they did miss. Thankful that we have the pitching that we just spoke about in the first segment is what carried this team and what helped them get a victory in their first sweep of 2025.
Well, I know the Astros on Monday, they outscored the Blue Jays 7-0, but
Right.
they were 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Then on Tuesday, they're 3 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And then today, yes, they scored just enough runs. It got a little bit iffy in the 9th inning with Josh Hader, but he still nailed the door. But they were 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position. Yes, they're getting the hits. They're getting things done. They had 12 hits, 13 hits today. So it's not like they're not hitting the ball. They're making contact, but it's just they can't get it in the clutch situation, critical times. And I think that I know Joe Espada has tried moving Alvarez down to number 2. And that seems, I don't know if Alvarez hitting second has helped or maybe just moving people around. Maybe just, but the Astros have been winning. You can't argue with that.
They've been winning. He's gotten a hit in the last 3 games. Okay. Jeremy Pena has a 14-game hitting streak now. Jeremy Pena's got one of the longest hitting streaks right now currently in baseball. But again, is the hitting doing enough? It's doing enough. Walker, 2 hits. Diaz, 2 hits. Desenzo, 3 hits. Desenzo has been on fire, dude. Desenzo is like, hey, don't forget about me, kids. I can't wait to talk about our last segment, what we're going to talk about with Cam Smith and some juggling of the outfielders. But this team has been criticized so much for years about managers and managerial positions. Managerial batting orders and all that stuff. And then Joe Espada's in over his skis. He's terrible. He's a horrible manager. We've heard it all. Everybody wanted to fire him. Everybody wanted to demote Hunter Brown. My point is this. Joe Espada is doing what he needs to do with this lineup to get them going. Right now, they don't have to be world beaters, Eric. Right now, they don't have to have it all figured out. Making contact, getting confidence, getting on base, enjoying the game, and the other things will come. Yordan Alvarez's power will come. He's about to go through a streak soon where he's just going to be hitting the cover off the ball. And so I think we may have to see it happen on the road.
Yeah, so if you're looking at the Astros' chances according to Fangraphs of making the World Series, I mean, not World Series, let's not look at World Series, playoffs right now, it's 55%. The Rangers right now are still at 64.6%. Ironically, the Mariners, because they're tied with the Astros, are at 68.1%, which I think is a little bit odd because the Astros pitching is better. The Mariners offense is doing a little bit better. So maybe with if you're looking at the Fangraphs, maybe they value offense over pitching. And so that might be a situation once as the Astros offense gets better, then maybe this situation where the Astros, I mean, we don't really care about the projections and what happens. It all matters about what they do on the field. But what we're seeing is some baby steps. We're seeing some good positive contact from Diaz. We're seeing some good contact from Christian Walker, but also Desenzo. This is a guy that hadn't made a start for 9 days. Then he has the time of his life the other day with a big game. Now he comes in again today with another 3-hit game. And after being out yesterday with a sore thumb, and then he comes back wearing double mitts. And so it's a situation where you have a lot of great hitters and you have not enough spots. And so eventually you're going to have to figure out how to get Zach Desenzo in the lineup because he's too good. And eventually he's going to be like Cam Smith and force the Astros' hands. Jake Myers is doing really good offensively this year, but there's got to be a way to get Desenzo in the lineup more. And we'll talk about that next. Guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Hello, everybody. This episode is brought to you by our friends at GameTime. GameTime is a great place to go. Really, it's the only place to go for your MLB game tickets. So last-minute ticket deals, all in one pricing, no matter what time of the day it is. It could be 20 minutes before the game, and the ticket prices are going to drop, and you're going to go and you're going to enjoy yourself. Download the GameTime app today. Use a promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. I told you that I've used it. Eric has used it not only for baseball, but for concerts. But let's focus on baseball, okay? When I grab last-minute tickets and I get to see where I'm sitting for an unbeatable price, I've got one choice: get to the game. Basically, where am I going to park? You know, it is great to see your seat before. And then what I love is the Game Time Picks feature, where they weed out all the extra stuff and they give you the best deals, the top discounts. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use a code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Now, don't forget about this. If you find the tickets in the same section, okay, in the same row for a different price, for a lower price, they'll credit you 110% the difference. Terms to apply. Again, create that account. Redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe to us, make us your first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, go and check us out. So Brett, I want to play a little game with you. Let's just pretend like we're just at a bar talking. And
Okay.
I want to tell you a crazy idea. Let's just say I've had way too many of these waters right here, because it really is water. But let's say I give you a scenario where at the end of the season, Cam Smith is playing center field. Buy or sell it?
Well, my first question is, what happened to Jake Myers? And my first question is, what happened to your best defender in center field? Because that's obviously he's the best. He's a Gold Glove top 3 guy. Maybe Jake's hitting so good he's a DH. Maybe he was traded. But in order to get someone like Zach Desenzo in the game, you've got to have Zach and Cam in the same lineup if they're hitting well. Can you imagine that? I mean, that would be great. Maybe you move Jake to left and you DH Altuve. Maybe Alvarez is resting. I don't know, dude. That's the problem. It's a logjam. And Eric, the reason why you mentioned this is because Joe Espada talked about this a little bit, I think, today, but also Chandler Rome and some of the beat writers were saying that Cam Smith was taking outfield practice in center field today, was shagging fly balls in center field. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know if he was just standing in center field or if they were hitting him on purpose and playing center field. But versatility is the word that they've been using since the whole thing with Altuve came up. So, I can't give you a short answer, because that's really that's an odd position to be in as a coach and a GM. Where do you put everybody? Can we have 4 outfielders like softball? Like, I remember my dad played slow pitch softball. They had 4 outfielders. What?
They eliminated the shift. Remember, you can't have Jose Altuve. Well, Jose Altuve is an outfield, but you can't.
No, I'm just saying, like, let's make it, because in slow pitch you got a right center fielder and a left center fielder. Why not?
Yeah. So, but I know this topic came up today, and some people have been talking about it, but this is something that's in the infancy stage. He is still learning how to play right field. And even Dave Clark said he'll be able to make up for his mistakes. There's some balls that I'm like, how the heck did he catch that? Because of his athleticism, he's fast. He has good instincts out there. And so I think he has impressed even the Astros with how good he's done in right field. Does he look the best all the time? Does he misread some balls? Sure. But even he said that he's able to adjust on the fly, and that's typically what you look for in a good center fielder. So this would be just another way to, let's say, Jake Myers is off to a great start. Let's say his production kind of plummets a little bit. And then Chas McCormick, he hasn't done much this year. And if you don't have any other options, or maybe there's an injury, we don't know what's going to happen. What they're possibly doing is looking to, hey, what if? Could we expose Cam Smith maybe to some garbage time down the road when the Astros are up 20-0 or something? Hopefully, knock on wood, that happens. But maybe get some time in center field at the end of the ball game, see how he looks out there, see how he feels out there, and maybe eventually get him to some games. Nothing set in stone. This is not anything. This is not any set game plan, but this is just you and I at a bar talking about this. Could this possibly happen with his skills, with his speed? I say yes. This year, maybe not.
Well, okay. So here's the deal. Jason Bell from the article that Chandler Rome wrote today. When you break down what makes a good center fielder, you're going to see reactions, routines, speed, and an arm. So far, he's shown the ability to do all those things. Cam Smith is a natural outfielder. To go from infield to outfield is not a difficult adjustment. And Cam Smith actually said, he's like, Eric, he gets time, and I think we see that. He has time to adjust. He has time to react. Whenever Jeremy Pena went running out to the outfield, he had time to react to that. And he enjoys the adventure. I think Cam navigating center field is fine. He's 22. He's big. He's strong. He's taller than Jake, so he can reach a little bit more. Imagine him getting a timing jump down and robbing a home run, robbing a Mike Trout, robbing a Bryce Harper type of home run.
Judge, just go for the juggler. Go for
well, there you go. Would just be phenomenal. So Cam Smith is going to shine wherever he plays because he plays with confidence. He is a part of this team. And what does he say earlier this week? I feel like myself again. So there you go, Cam Smith. Play wherever you want, sir.
And he eventually wants to play in the infield. He says, I still love the infield, but he loves showing off his arm. He loves just being involved in the outfield. And he says it's very fun. And he didn't think it would be that much fun. The only thing he said, the negative, it's very lonely out there. I think Altuve has said that too, because you're kind of out there on the island by yourself. You don't get to talk to the runners. You can talk to your fans, but if you're on the road at Yankee Stadium, you don't want to be talking to them. They'll be throwing stuff at you. But I'm curious to see how he does at Yankee Stadium or one of these more where the fans are a little bit more vocal. I'm sure that they're like, hey, you cheated. And he's like, I wasn't even playing high school baseball at that time. But this guy is just showing so much poise and so much skills at this level. The Astros are not investing in it. They're not buying it, but they're maybe putting a bond down and saying, hey, let's see what happens over time. Let's just put some money in it and just see what happens. And maybe one day we can cash in and see him play center field and see if it works, because he does have the skills. He has the athletic ability to do it. And who knows? Maybe there comes a time when Desenzo forces the hand and you have to do it.
So, Eric, here are a couple things that you wouldn't know if you didn't ask, okay? Lance McCullers is scheduled to start Saturday afternoon when AA Corpus Christi hosts Frisco. Why is that important? Well, I'm going to tell you, because he's getting closer to pitching at Daikin Park and for the Astros. And manager Joe Espada said that the team hadn't decided on a pitch threshold for McCullers, who threw 61 pitches, 42 for strikes in 4 innings on April 12th. And so what are some other things we've heard about Josh Hader and his pitching brilliantly? Eric, how is he doing on saves? What is he now? He's up to how many saves on the year as we speak?
He's 7 for 7 on saves, and his ERA is 0.69.
Wow.
The Astros are 11-0 in games he's pitched in this season. This is a much better turnaround than what we saw last year, where it just seemed like every time he came in, for the most part, I think he kind of calmed down towards the middle of the season. But like I said, he just felt like he had to not show off, but he had to prove that contract. But now he's just being him. The Astros are going to be playing the Royals, and they're supposed to play a game tonight, but it was rained out, so they're going to play a doubleheader tomorrow against the Rockies. That's good news for the Astros. That means that their bullpen is going to be a little bit more taxed when they face the Astros on Friday night. So hopefully that means better things for the Astros. And overall, the Astros, positive signs. You're seeing better at bats. I would like to see more consistency from Alvarez. We're seeing a little bit better production from Diaz. We're seeing more production up and down the lineup, and that's what you can ask for. Desenzo, he's probably going to get more playing time. So Joe Espada, he's going to have to work all these guys into the lineup. And it's with DH, I think you have that possibility. And I think maybe at some point you might have to entertain Alvarez playing some more left field, because we know that he does like hitting better when he plays the field. So maybe that's a possibility too. But there's so much that is going good for the Astros this year compared to last year. I don't want to keep on saying, well, the offense sucks and this guy's struggling. The whole team struggled so bad last year, but they turned around. Now that you see this team struggling, turning around now.
Well, and even Diaz, last night, I almost failed to mention that he had gotten that double tonight. He got a triple. Diaz is having fun back at the plate. He's really looking a little bit more like himself. So I absolutely love this. Look at this. Houston throws this out there for us. 17 strikeouts and 3 walks. Look, the dude is nails. Josh Hader may be comeback player of the year. I mean, he's having a much better year than last year. We've got a guy that's going to be top 10 in rookie of the year. And we've got a pitcher that's probably going to be top 3 in the Cy Young. This has been a great show. Thank you all for hanging out with us for this sweep stakes version of Locked On Astros, man. Let's go to Kansas City and give them a royal butt whooping.
And I bet you if the Astros continue to average 11 hits per game and only allowing an average 3 hits per game, they're going to win a lot of ball games this year. So, guys, that's all we got for this edition of the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and make sure you go and subscribe to us. Go and check out Michael Connor with the Locked On Astros podcast as well as the Locked On Fantasy Baseball guys. They do a great job. So we will see you tomorrow, and go ahead and talk about the Royal Series, and hopefully the Astros get another sweep in that series. So, guys, thank you for making us your first listen, and we will see you tomorrow. And Brett.
Go Stros.